Hello again, everyone. Got a really juicy rumor here about the Moranbong Band. It's been flying around for a couple days. It's a report by UPI, by United Press International, and it's Kim Yo-jong, the Moranbong Band, could attend the Winter Olympics, and those are being held in South Korea. And everybody knows who Kim Yo-jong is, right? It's the sister of the Supreme Leader, Kim Jong-un. Here they are together. They're going up the steps to attend the most recent concert of the Moranbong Band. But anyway, you know, it's only a rumor, and I generally dismiss rumors for the most part. Sometimes if the rumor persists, or if there's other rumors to support it, or if the rumor sounds logical, it makes sense, and maybe I might listen to it, you know, or make a note of it. But except for one thing about this particular rumor, it's not a rumor coming out of South Korean media. It's not Yonhap or Chosun Ilbo, one of those. It's a UPI story. And it's a big difference. UPI, it makes it much less likely to be a fake story, fake news. Most of what comes out of South Korea regarding North Korea is fake. I'd say probably 99% of the news that you hear from South Korean media regarding North Korea is pretty much fake. Yeah, maybe 95%. But not UPI. And why? Well, the Moonies own UPI. And if you don't know who the Moonies are, that's the Reunification Church. And that was started by the Reverend Sun Myung Moon, who is here. And an interesting guy, the Reverend Sun Myung Moon. He was born in North Korea, the north part. And in 1946, he was born in 1920. And in 1946, he started a church in Pyongyang. Well, he ran afoul of Kim Il-sung, and Kim Il-sung tossed him in prison for a while, where he wasn't shown the love that he probably thought he should have, you know. So he managed to make it out of prison after getting roughed up. Did something else, and Kim Il-sung tossed him in prison again. So after he got out of prison, he hightailed it to South Korea, and in 1954 he set up another church down there somewhere. And that eventually became the Reunification Church. And he had a really weird theology, Reverend Moon. Had a really kind of like it's just kind of a weird sort of Christian heresy, a lot like the Mormon Church, you know, one of those things. He had himself and his wife, they were crowned king and queen. And then they'd conduct mass weddings, and it was just like pretty cool the way he did that. I get a whole bunch of people in, and then you know, his wife and him, the king and queen, then they would marry everybody en masse. And the thing about it is Reverend Moon would select who marries whom. So he either did it with a bunch of pictures. He'd have a bunch of photographs. He'd put them together. Okay, this picture goes with this picture goes with this picture. And or he'd get everybody in a room and just physically, okay, grab him by the hand, you marry him, guy over here, you marry her, you hook up with him. And that's the way he got people together. And the people in the church said, well, that's pretty cool. You know, if Reverend Moon says I should marry this chick, well. But he had a deal where, it's kind of funny, he had a deal where you couldn't consummate the marriage for 40 days, just in case he was wrong. So you had to wait 40 days. I don't know if people did or not, but then, and I don't know how the marriage lasted. They probably lasted as long as any other marriage. I mean, what's the attrition rate on marriage is probably 50%. You know, you got a 50-50 chance. So I imagine it's, you know, probably better than that. But anyway, what was interesting is that Reverend Moon, I know I'm kind of dragging this out here, but Reverend Moon kind of got in trouble with the United States government, and then they tossed him in jail for tax evasion or tax fraud or something, which is kind of like the catch-all thing when the U.S. government wants to get you for something, they get you on tax fraud, like Al Capone. So that's like the catch-all. So they got him, tossed him in jail, and that was kind of the end of his church. Everything tapered off. Because everybody back in, I remember it well, everybody was scared to death of the Moonies. Reverend Moon, he bought the Washington Times. They go, oh man, because he was associated with a lot of right-wing or super right-wing people in the United States. So everybody thought he was like a right-wing crackpot. They thought he was starting a religious cult. And, well, if you looked at the Washington Times after he bought it, nothing much changed. There was nothing in there. I mean, it's a conservative paper, and it still is. But nothing much changed. I don't think he had any editorial influence. I don't think Reverend Moon ever told somebody what to write. I may have, I don't know. But anyway, here's what's really fascinating, is that later, Reverend Moon became fast friends with Kim Il-sung. Remember, Kim Il-sung tossed him in jail in 1946. Now he goes back, and now they're buds. And Reverend Moon was pretty smart because he named his church the Reunification Church, which means the two halves of the Korea. He was trying to work to bring them together. And anybody that did that was like gold in Kim Il-sung's book. If you're trying to reunify the country, because that's all North Korea talks about, reunifying the country. And in fact, Kim Il-sung, he said, look, will you reunify the country? We'll have one nation but two systems. So you can have your system of government, we'll have ours, but we'll be one nation. He called it a confederacy, Korean Confederacy, for whatever reason. But anyway, Reverend Moon and Kim Il-sung became very good friends. So when he bought UPI, and we're getting back to UPI now here, UPI was kind of, they're based in Florida, but they're really in South Korea, the Philippines, and Asia, and I think Africa, a couple of other places, but based in Florida, corporate headquarters, but really big in South Korea. So because UPI is tied to the Reunification Church, they're much less likely to lie about North Korea. You understand what I'm saying here? They have an obligation to be intellectually honest and to follow that relationship that Reverend Moon had with the eternal president, Kim Il-sung. So they got to respect that relationship. So now, I said all that to say this, is that if UPI has a story that says the Moranbong Band might go to South Korea, you have to take that a little more seriously than if it just came out of Yonhap or some damn thing, whether somebody's, the South Korean media is just trying to be malicious. This is not, UPI is not being malicious. I think they might have something here. Now, whether this just talk, whether somebody, dropped a hint here and there, but it's something to consider if that happened. Now, if the Moranbong Band did go to South Korea, and we're getting back to that video I made a couple of videos ago about weaponizing the Moranbong Band and how North Korea failed to pursue that opportunity to project their brand. So now here they have a chance maybe to send the Moranbong Band into South Korea. And I'll tell you one thing, I highly doubt they'd send this state-merited course with them, because the state-merited course is all military. And I don't think South Korea would like to see that. Now, the members of the Moranbong Band are all officers in the KPA. They're military too, but they're women and they look beautiful and they don't look military. You understand? It'd be a lot easier for people to like. So, but imagine the impact that would make if the Moranbong Band went to South Korea. Actually, I mean, that would be amazing. They perform, maybe some songs like Sardis here, or they did Gypsy Airs from Mozart's first movement of Symphony No. 40. They performed that, really good stuff. You want to contrast what the Moranbong Band does, what the Pyeongchang Band does, and what a lot of North Korean music, you contrast that with the South, where it's what they call K-pop. And I could never figure out South Korean K-pop. You know, these guys, you look at these guys and they're wearing makeup, they're wearing lipstick and eyeshadow and blush, you know, and the female singers, they all look like 12-year-old girls. And that's all of K-pop. They all look like little kids. And then what's with that Gangnam guy? Remember him doing the funny dances and jumping around and everything? And, you know, what was up with that? I could never figure that out. Jumping around stuff, that dancing. And there's one thing about Korean popular music or K-pop. No one plays an instrument. And if you do see someone playing an instrument, they're faking it. Because all the South Korean popular music is computers, is done on computers. I mean, all MIDI work and all that. You don't have to know how to play an instrument to, you know, to produce music. You know, a lot of people produce music on a computer, songs and stuff, and they don't know how to play anything. So South Korea would probably be, people in South Korea would probably be pretty amazed that this group, the Moranbong Band, would come into South Korea and look at them go, I mean, look at that. That would be a mind blower, I think. And people in South Korea are actually very curious about a lot of what goes on in North Korea. And so I think the Moranbong Band would make this huge, huge, huge impact. So if it were to happen, that would be pretty wonderful. It would probably be Kim Yo-jong that would be making the decision, because now she's in charge of propaganda and agitation. Maybe Kim Ki-nam is just a figurehead now, but she's in charge mainly. And so she's calling the shots, and she's advising her brother what to do, you know, Kim Jong-un. Should he or shouldn't he? So if she says, look, I think we should go, this is an opportunity, he would probably follow up on it. So we'll see. I mean, what's my prediction? You know, like 50-50 at this point. You know, we'll see. I mean, Trump, he goes back and forth. You know, Trump one day he's like slamming Kim Jong-un, and like just today he says, no, he says, I could be his friend. We could be buds. We could be friends. And a reporter asked him, you know, have you talked to Kim Jong-un actually? And Trump says, no, I don't want to tell you if I've talked to him or not. And I don't want to go there. So leaving the possibility dangling in the air that Trump has actually picked up the phone and talked to Kim Jong-un. And Kim Jong-un speaks English, some English anyway. So according to what Dennis Rodman was saying. So if you can believe that or not. It's a subject for another video. But anyway, yeah, that's the rumor. Moranbong Band going to South Korea, and I don't know. We'll see. But it would be way cool if it happened. Trust me, that'd make a lot of news. So anyway, I'll continue that in another video. We'll see if it happens. And as always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.